What's up? Grace Report. Happy Monday. What is up? Tammy, Carol, Lisa Boo, Bernadette, Leonore, Jennifer Marie. I need to fish. Nerd Report's in the house. What's up, everyone? I'll wait for a few people to come in before I get into my topics. How was your day today, everyone? Ozzy Walks, how's it going? Jennifer Marie goes listening while working. Nothing wrong with that. That's cool. I'll wait for a few people to trickle in before we get into my main topics. And as always, guys, as we're waiting, Skeleduck is somewhere in the background. Just remind me at the end of, because I've been forgetting to say that, just remind me at the end of the stream and I will reveal his location. What is up, Brandon? What's up, Matthew? Project Metal Music says A up. What is up? Anyone do anything interesting the last couple days? What's up, Carol? While we're waiting for people to come in, I got an article of 10 new horror movies you don't want to miss in May. Before we get into the Alaskan Triangle, which I have never heard of, found it by accident and said, why not? This is from Bloody Disgusting. Just, I don't want any, if anyone's looking for something to watch, I figured I'd like to, because I'm always looking to see what's coming out, so I thought I'd share. The return of a fan favorite franchise, the critically acclaimed new movie from a modern day genre visioner and a slasher from the perspective of the Jason Voorhees-like killer. Huh. It's all headed our way in the coming weeks, and it's only the tip of the iceberg. Here are the new horror releasing in theaters and at home in May of 2024. I saw the TV Glow. It says May 3rd, it's limited. May 17th, it's nationwide. Fresh off the haunting and singularly creepy indie. We're all going to the World's Fair. Jane Schoenburn is back with A24's I Saw the TV Glow, releasing only in theaters May 3rd. I was able to see this trailer. It's it looks more like a psychological thriller, in my opinion, when I saw it, because it was like, okay, what's going on? What's up, Chris, Tyrana, Gunner Girl, Joanne? And I Saw the TV Glow. Owen is just trying to make it through life in the suburbs when his classmate introduces him to a mysterious TV show, a vision of a supernatural world beneath their own. In the pale glow of the television, Owen's view of reality begins to crack. Megan Navarro wrote in her Sundance review of BD, I Saw the TV Glow. It's a great name, too. So what movie did you see? I Saw the TV Glow. They'll be like, huh? Offers a layer and authentic portrait of identity wrapped in 90s nostalgia and surreal imagery that embeds itself deep into your psyche. Megan continues. Schoenbrunn delivers a singular vision of art house horror that entrances for its fevered dream style and insanely cool imagery. Justice Smith and Bridget Lundy Payne leads the cast of the upcoming horror. There's also Something in the Water, also coming out May 3rd. Samuel Goldwyn Films is bringing director Haley Easton Street's Shark Attack movie, Something in the Water, is to select theaters and VOD outlets at home on May 3rd. In the upcoming aquatic horror movie, an idyllic destination wedding turns into a battle for survival. The film follows Meg, who tentatively attends the wedding of an old friend, Lizzie, in the Caribbean, along with fellow pals Cam and Ruth, plus her former partner Kayla, who she parted ways with after both survived a deeply traumatic event. Naturally, the wedding party is invaded by hungry sharks and all hell breaks loose. I don't know about that one. I feel like there's a lot of shark movies out there. There's a lot of shark movies out there. especially Sharknado, which I didn't bother to watch. I'm not sure if any of you've seen Sharknado, but Dusty, how's it going? But yeah, I mean, it's still something to check out. I mean, these aren't on streaming. Well, this one will be, but I guess you may have to pay for it. But they're not on streaming yet. I feel like some of these would probably be better off for streaming just by um I don't know, by what I'm reading more than seeing in the theater. But if you're hankering to see something in the theater, Tarot, this movie actually looks kind of interesting. I don't know. It looks interesting because it's something different, but I don't know how the outcome of it is. Originally titled Horoscope, Screen Gems is getting set to unleash Tarot in theaters on May 3rd, which has been rated PG-13 for horror, violence, terror, and bloody images. When a group of friends recklessly violates the secret rule of tarot readings, never use someone else's deck, the unknowingly unleash an unspeakable evil trapped within their cursed cards in an upcoming Scream Gem horror movie, Tarot. One by one, they come face to face with fate and end up in a race against death to escape the future foretold in their readings. Artist Trevor Henderson designed the 8 monsters for the movie. Larson Thompson, Harriet Slater, Adrian Bradley, Avantika, and Jacob Battalion star. Tarot is written and directed by Spencer Cohen and Anna Helberg. There's also New Life. Chris goes, I saw a couple of the Sharknado movies and they were bad. I didn't even bother watching them because they looked bad. Dusty goes, busy day of house cleaning and my 3-month checkup. All is good. Yay, Dusty. That's awesome. Joanne goes, bonjour, tout le monde. Hopefully I said that right. Lisa Boo talking about the shark movie, another shark movie that's coming out. Why am I hearing the Jaws theme? I liked Meg. I didn't see Meg 2, but I liked Meg. Jaws obviously is a classic. You can't mess with the classic. There was another one that I don't remember that was pretty good, but I cannot remember it. I don't remember the name of it, but it was pretty good. It was another shark movie. So, New Life from the producers of Something in the Dirt and the Mortuary Collection comes New Life, a tense thriller of apocalyptic proportions coming into theaters and on demand May 3rd. The feature debut by written director John Rosman stars Sonia Walger, Haley Aaron, and Tony Amendola. Give me a second. Because freaking camera wants to go off like it's. Give me a second. All right. Sorry about that. New Life follows a mysterious woman on the run, Haley Aaron, and the resourceful fixer assigned to bring her in as their 2 stories inexorably link. The stakes of their pursuit rise to apocalyptic portions. Founders Day, which I remember reading about earlier. I just didn't know when it was coming out. I believe it's a slasher, if I'm not mistaken. I love slashers. After being released exclusively in movie theaters this past January, the tricentennial theme slasher movie Founders Day is headed home on May 7th, courtesy of Dark Sky Films. In this bold political slasher from the Blumquist brothers, a small town is shaken by a series of ominous killings in the days leading up to a heated mayoral election. As accusations fly and the threat of a mass killer darkens every street corner, the residents must race to uncover the truth before fear consumes the town. That one's actually coming to VOD, so we can see that now on May 7th, tomorrow. Mind, Body, Spirit. A yoga influencer discovers just how flexible fear could be in Mind, Body, Spirit, a newfound footage horror movie that welcomes Villain Films is bringing to digital on May 7th. Matt Donato raved in his 4-star review, Mind, Body, Spirit is a knockout horror sensation for the live stream era, which has me desperately waiting to see what its creators and start do next. In Mind, Body, Spirit, Anya, an inspiring yoga influencer, embarks on a ritual practice left behind by her estranged grandmother. She documents the practice on her YouTube channel for the world to watch, allowing her audience intimate access to her journey. But what starts as a spiritual self-help guide evolves into something much more sinister. As Anya becomes obsessed with the mysterious power of the practice, she unwittingly unleashes an otherworldly entity that begins to take control of her life and her videos. Now Anya must race to unlock the truth before her descent into madness threatens to consume her mind, body, and spirit. By the time she reveals the true nature of the ritual, will it be too late? The Strangers, May 17th. I was gonna bring the mask because I do have one of the masks. It's hanging in my room. Chris Barber goes, most shark movies just give sharks a bad name. The first film in a new reboot trilogy from director Rennie Harlem, The Strangers Chapter 1 hits theaters on May 17th. It's a I'm not a huge fan of The Strangers. It's okay. I find that the masks are more creepier than the actual movie. Based on the original, I know something about them standing there with those emotionless masks just make it creepy. Based on the original 2008 cult horror franchise, the project features Pesh, who drives across country with her longtime boyfriend to begin a new life in the Pacific Northwest. When their car breaks down in Venus, Oregon, they're forced to spend the night in a secluded Airbnb where they are terrorized from dusk till dawn by three masked strangers. So it starts off after their car breaks down in an eerie small town. A young couple are forced to spend the night in a remote cabin. Panic ensues as they are terrorized by three masked strangers who strike with no mercy and seemingly no motive. Night Watch Demons Are Forever. So this is going to be on Shudder. Shudder is bringing the 1994 Danish thriller Night Watch and its just announced surprise sequel, Night Watch Demons Are Forever, to their streaming service on Friday, May 17th. The sequel is written and directed by Night Watch creator Ole Bornedal. Original cast members are Kim Bonia and Ulf Pilgard, along with Nikolai Koster Waldu are back. Here's the official synopsis. I have a feeling this is probably in a different language. So with those, I kind of have to be in the mood to watch subtitles. 22-year-old medical student Emma has just taken a job as the night watch in the same forensic department where her parents were almost killed by the famed psychopathic police inspector Wormer. The events led to her mother's arrest and her father's Martin has turned to tranquilizers to suppress the memories. Determined to investigate what exactly happened to them, Emma tracks down and confronts Wormer, only to unintentionally reawaken his bloodthirst and ignite a violent revenge on everyone who seals his destiny years ago. We also have Pandemonium. Some of these I've never heard of. May 28th, director Quarks explores the peculiar, welcoming all those hungry for wonder in Pandemonium, a unique cinematic blend of fantasy, drama, genre, and humor. Pandemonium will release on Blu-ray in the UK on May 27th and the US and Canada May 28th. It will also be streaming on Arrow and the UK USCA IRE for May 27th. I have never heard of Arrow as well. Arrow Video previews Pandemonium takes the viewer on a chilling journey as three interconnected stories unravel in the macabre exploration of tales depicting fallen souls. From the intricacies of everyday drama to the realm of supernatural intrigue, each narrative weaves a haunted tapestry that blurs the lines between the mortal and the supernatural. Nathan and Daniel are caught in a road accident that kills them both. As they come to grips with their deaths, Nathan confronts his past and the consequences of his actions. Now trapped in the hellish void of Pandemonium, he encounters tortured souls like Janine, a disturbed child, Julia, a grief-stricken mother, and Norgul, the guide of the great void. Will he find a way to escape the torment that awaits his eternity? It sounds cool. That one actually sounds pretty cool. Then in the Violent Nature comes out at the end of this month. One of the most talked about new horror movies at Sundance this year was In a Violent Nature, uniquely framing a classic slasher movie from the perspective of its undead killer. IFC Films will release In a Violent Nature exclusively in theaters on May 31st. The film, when a locket is removed from a collapsed fire tower in the woods that entombs the rotting corpse of Johnny, a vengeful spirit spurred on by a horrific 60-year-old crime, his body is resurrected and becomes hellbent on retrieving it. The undead golem hones in on the group of vacationing teen responsible for the theft and proceeds to methically slaughter them one by one in his mission to get it back, along with anyone in his way. So I think they're dubbing that as a Friday the 13th type clone. But there are all the movies coming out in May. Some interesting ones, some I've never heard of. Leonardo goes, dun, dun, dun. Angel, what's up? How's it going? Bernadette goes, I remember that movie. I fell asleep. Boring. Dusty goes, Hawaii has its shark sightings and occasional attacks. Don't swim at sunset. That is their feeding time. I will keep that in mind, Dusty. Actually, I don't think of sharks when I go in the ocean. That's the weird thing. I don't. I just go in. But that are all the movies coming out in May. For anyone wondering what's coming out, some of them sound cool. Some of them don't. Have any of you guys heard of the Alaska Triangle? I have never heard of it. Bernadette goes, I would rather watch all those than stupid Atlas. Now that's scary. Atlas? Hold on. Ah, gotcha. Yeah, no, I just looked it up. Bernadette, I was like, what? Tammy has, Matthew has, Dusty goes, no, Leonard goes, yes. Now I understand you, Bernadette. Gutter Girls with the History Channel shows it. I have never heard of it, so when I came across it, I was like, ooh, this sounds kind of cool. Because I've heard of the Bermuda Triangle, but I've never heard of the Alaskan Triangle. I've never been to Alaska, always wanted to go to Alaska. What I've seen in videos and pictures, it's an absolute beautiful area. I like that type of area. I live in the wrong state. I don't know if I could do with the 24 or days of daylight or days of nightfall. I don't know if I could deal with that. That would probably drive me nuts, but it whatever pictures I've seen, it's beautiful there. More than 20,000 people have vanished in the stretch of forest between Uquidvik, Anchorage, and Juneau, known as the Alaska Triangle, and some say paranormal forces may be to blame. The Bermuda Triangle, also known as the Devil's Triangle, is a region in the North Atlantic infamous for a number of mysterious disappearances over the years, fueling urban legends and conspiracy theories alike. But much further to the north is another equally strange and mysterious triangle of land known as the oh my gosh, cannot read today, Alaska Triangle. This region, loosely defined as the wilderness between Uquidvik, Anchorage, and Juneau, has also been called Alaska's Bermuda Triangle. although that description is perhaps a disservice to how truly deadly the Alaska Triangle is. The phenomenon first came to public attention in October of 72 when a small passenger plane suddenly disappeared en route from Anchorage to Juneau. Neither its passengers nor its wreckage were ever found despite multiple efforts spanning 325,000 square miles. It only got worse from there. More planes have crashed in the Alaska Triangles, hikers have disappeared, and locals and tourists alike vanish as if into the air. History reports that since the 72 crash, more than 20,000 people have gone missing in the Alaska. I don't know why I want to say elastic triangle, a rate that more than doubles the national average, leading many to speculate whether these disappearances are natural or supernatural. Leonore with the Juneau. The disappearance of House Majority Leader Hale Boggs. Although the wilderness that would come to be known as the Bermuda Triangle of Alaska has seen its fair share of missing persons prior to 72, it truly became a point of public fixation in October of that year when a private airplane carrying the U.S. House Majority Leader Hale Boggs vanished somewhere between Anchorage and Juneau. On October 16th of 1972, Boggs and Representative Nick Beckich were on board the twin-engine Cessna 310 plane along with one of Beckett's aides, Russell Brown, and the pilot Doug Jones. Boggs had been visiting the freshman Beckich during a campaign trip, but at some point during their flight, the plane seemingly vanished into thin air. So this is a picture of Representative Hale Boggs, who disappeared in October of 1972. He vanished without a trace. According to Politico, when word of the plane's sudden disappearance reached Washington, D.C., it kickstarted the largest search and rescue operation seen up to that point in U.S. history. In total, 40 military aircraft and 50 civilian planes aided in the search, which spanned 325,000 square miles and lasted more than 3,600 hours. Joanne goes, CIA? No, he was the state representative. U.S. representative, not state, U.S. representative. But 39 days later, the search party found nothing, not a trace of the plane or anyone who was on it. The search was called off, and the incident prompted Congress to pass a law mandating that all U.S. civil aircraft be equipped with emergency locator transmitters. Not long after, because that's kind of big, because he's a political figure, and he just vanished. That is crazy. Not long after, conspiracy theories surfaced, including one pertaining to Boggs' membership in the Warren Commission, set up by President Lyndon B. Johnson to investigate John F. Kennedy's assassination, and his dissenting opinion on the commission's report pointing to a lone assassin. In short, Boggs believed that Kennedy's assassination may have involved multiple individuals, and conspiracy theorists believe Boggs may have been killed because he was looking too deeply into something he shouldn't have been. However, Boggs' plane was not the first or last to disappear in the Alaska Triangle. In fact, in 1950, a military aircraft carrying 44 people also vanished without a trace. The same happened with a Cessna 340 carrying 4 passengers in 1990, Discovery reports. And the mysterious disappearance don't stop there. In fact, the situation only becomes more staggering when factoring in the number of individual people who have gone missing in the Alaska Triangle. More than 16,000 since 1988, or to put it another way, roughly 4 out of every 1,000 individuals in Alaska, more than double the national average. Of course, the biggest question is why? Joanne goes, they took him. Leonore goes, remember the movie The Fourth Kind? No, I don't actually. I'll have to put that on my list. I don't no, I don't think I have. Paranormal theories about the Alaska Triangle disappearance. According to the Travel Channel, one prominent theory regarding the Alaska Triangle and the numerous disappearances within the region comes from a strange report made to the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, in 1986. The report claimed that Japanese airline Flight 1628 had encountered three unidentified aerial phenomenons, UAP, more commonly known as unidentified flying objects, UFOs, which is usually what I call them. I don't call them UAPs. The pilot reported that they initially believed the craft to be military before realizing that the objects were keeping pace with the plane and moving about it in erratic motion while emitting bursts of light. These claims were reportedly later verified by civilian and military radar, leading some to speculate that the thousands of strange disappearances that have occurred in the Alaska Trail could be attributed to extraterrestrials. So this is a map. Let me make sure you guys are still okay. I need to make sure you guys are not looking at my mug and you can see the article. This is the map of the Alaska Triangle. It stretches from Juneau, Alaska to Ukquavik, formerly known as Barrow. That is way easier to say. Barrow, Alaska. So just note to self, if we're ever in that area, to not drive or to fly through that area. I'm guessing it's okay to drive through that area, just can't be in the skies. Dusty Lane goes so much wilderness, hard to locate crashes. They need those ping detectors. Leonard goes, if you live isolated, you could see things. True. True. Sometimes your mind plays games with you as well. Kyle, what is up? Another theory suggests that massive swirling energy vortexes exist within the Alaska Triangle. Supposedly, the direction an energy vortex spin can influence human behavior. A clockwise vortex, for instance, creates positive emotions, while a counterclockwise vortex leads humans to experience negative feelings and confusion. Indeed, electronic readings have reportedly detected significant magnetic irregularities within the Alaska Triangle, and search teams in the area have reported their compasses being more than 30 degrees off. Some have also reported feeling disoriented or experiencing auditory hallucinations, which purportedly could account for why people get lost or crash in the Alaska Triangle. That makes perfect sense. That's a big possibility, because if you're having auditory hallucinations, or if you're feeling disoriented, you're not going to know where you are, especially trying to fly a plane feeling like that. I'm sure that could cause a crash. And your compass is being off by 30 degrees, meaning you could be going the wrong direction. You didn't even mean to be going that direction. Joanne goes, hikers disappeared as well. Other theories trace back even further, rooting themselves in Native American folklore. The Tlingit, and Simshan people, I apologize for butchering that, for example, have told stories of a creature known as the Kushtaka, a shapeshifter that prowls the Alaskan wilderness searching for its prey. The Kustasha, or Kushtaka, is similar in appearance to an otter, but often appears to those lost in the woods as a trusted friend, leading their victim deeper into the wilderness and either tearing them to shreds or turning them into a Kushtaka. So there's a picture of a depiction of the Kushtaka, which is, it has a head like an otter. And I guess it comes to you as a friend and leads you into the forest to either destroy you or make them one of you. There are other theories as well, some more outlandish than others, ranging from heavy air and strange weather to energy lasers beams from the lost city of Atlantis. That said, there are also a few more grounded explanations regarding the Alaska Triangle for the skeptics out there. I mean, I guess you wouldn't see him this way, but I was just saying, if you saw him this way, you would run. Kyle goes, looks like the triangle cuts a bit through the Yukon. Jennifer Marie goes, just another reason I have trust issues. Never know when a freaky otter demon will disguise themselves as one of your friends. Exactly. Joanne goes, not a convincing photo. Why? Because it has a six pack. It didn't miss gym. It doesn't miss leg day or arm and chest day. Chris goes, a killer otter. I can't talk today. Yes, a killer auto. Yes. Leonore, thank you for that super sticker of the cute corgi. Hearts for Leonore, guys. Thank you, Leonore, for the support. You're awesome. Kyle would buy the cryptid a beer. That way, you either Kyle is going by. You keep your friends close and your enemies even closer. especially especially if you're in that area, do not trust anyone. So goes geographical factors that could explain why people go missing in the Alaska Triangle. While it may be fun to postulate supernatural occurrences within the Alaska Triangle, it would be a disservice to discuss the region without likewise looking into scientific explanation for its numerous disappearances. Of course, according to the manual, one of the most likely scientific explanations is quite simply geographical. Leonard goes, always be aware. Exactly. Be 20 steps ahead. With year-round snowfall, dense wilderness, and massive glaciers containing hidden caves and giant crevices, the odds of finding a downed aircraft or poor soul's body are slim. Hikers might fall into deep holes, their tracks likely covered with snow before the light has left their eyes. Even planes, despite their massive size, can quickly become buried under heavy snowfall. Keep in mind, too, that the state of Alaska itself is massive. Alaska is more than twice the size of Texas, and most of it is still uninhabited by humans. The paranormal theories surrounding the Alaska Triangle are certainly exciting to discuss, but the truth is that it's unfortunately very easy for a person to go missing in the Alaskan wilderness and next to impossible to find them when they do. I kind of agree with the article. I don't think it's supernatural. I don't think it's aliens. I think it's just the terrain. It's hard, like Dusty had said earlier. I think it's the terrain, and as the article had said too, it's hard to find anybody in that terrain, especially with the snowfall. So, of course, a plane will go missing without a trace. But I feel like even with the search crew, though they spent all that time, I would think they would find something. But maybe they thought maybe it was too dangerous to go. So, as well. Joanne goes, they could fall in the otter hole. Bears, true. There's also animals too. What do you guys think? You think it's supernatural UFOs, or do you think and they also said like it could they also said earlier that some people that there has been auditory hallucinations and I'm having a brain fart. And people have felt disoriented and the compass has been off by 30 degrees. So it could just be the area too as well. And being disoriented, of course you're not going to know where you're at. That could cause a crash. And they're saying there's a bunch of holes that you can fall into, stuff like that. Delay Lex, what is up? Kyle, I swear most Americans forget Alaska's even a state most of the time. I know it's a state. It's a beautiful state. But like I said, it's not, I don't think it's supernatural. I don't think it's a UFO or aliens. Unexplainable, yes, but not anything supernatural. It could just be the area itself. Destiny goes, the closeness to the pole could be magnetic intrusion. True. Leonardo goes, "That's the wilderness." True, that too. Um, and I guess because that U.S. representative was lost, they decided to put tracking devices in all the uh governmental planes because of that. Joanne goes, "Is that area related to the Bermuda in any way?" I don't think it is, Joanne. They're saying that the Alaskan one is worse than the Bermuda Triangle. But I don't think it is, but it could be the same. It might be the same effect, but I'm not 100% sure. Tyrannus thinks it's UFOs because she put the UFO emojis. We want to believe. But it was pretty interesting. I've never heard of it, so it was kind of interesting too. I was like, my ears are crooked. It was pretty interesting. They're still crooked. Oh well. Joanne goes, some magnetic connection. I think so. I think that's what it is. I think it's something that's interfering. It interferes with you, the equipment. That's probably causing all the crashes and the disappearances. Leonardo goes, there are different dimensions in different locations. Lisa Boo goes, I think it's cool, but don't think alien. Same here, Lisa Boo. I think it's cool. It's super cool. But I don't think it's alien either. I mean, it would be cool if it was, but it'd be another proof that we have a closer indication that there are life in other planets, but I don't think it is. I know there's people that are going to jump to that and go, yes, it's definitely that. I don't care if it's the terrain or whatnot. Delay Lex goes, I wonder if it's connected to the Bermuda Triangle. I don't know. It didn't. It just said that it's similar to it, but it didn't like compare it. It actually said the Alaskan one was worse. Matthew goes, big rig truck trailers have the low hanging bar on the back because of the accident that took Jane Mansfield. Ooh. Kyle goes, Sasquatch are a race of technological advanced species whose civilization is hidden from the world like Wakanda. Leonardo goes, earthquake shift the earth. I think we had one last week, but I didn't feel it. All the earthquakes we've had recently, I have not felt. I mean, I guess it's a good thing. Chris goes, looks like you're wearing a Cincinnati Bengals beanie, Lisa. No, it's a cat ear one. You just can't see there. You can't see the cat ears because I have these cat ears. And red and black are my favorite colors. If you can't, red and black. Ozzy goes, volcanoes are getting very busy all over the earth. That too. And Leonardo, right? I do like cats. I like all animals though. Chris goes, it looks orange and black. Um, maybe it's my camera. I don't know. On my end, it still looks red. It's Chris. It's a simulation. That's why you're seeing another color. It's a glitch in the matrix. Which some people believe we live in a simulation, which I don't. I feel like it would take an extremely powerful computer with what technology we haven't had yet for that to happen. It is an interesting concept, I give that, but I'm skeptical when it comes to that. But there's always videos popping up with strange occurrences um happening where people have toned it a glitch in the Matrix. Kyle goes red and black like the virtual boy. Dusty goes, I don't feel the 4-point earthquakes. We have many of them around Kailua volcano lately. They are expecting Pele to show her fire soon. Ooh. Scary. That scary. Oh, volcanoes are super scary. I feel like a volcano eruption is scary. I've never been through one, but that's scary. Super scary. All right, my next article, it's not really spooky, but something crazy and it's something crazy. I like to talk about the crazy too. Kilauea. Sorry, Dusty. Kilauea. Leonora, I just haven't felt the most recent earthquakes we have because I think I've been moving or I was walking around or I was driving and I was like, I didn't feel them. So my next article is not really spooky related, but something kind of cool and unusual. It is a drought in the Philippines just dried up a reservoir and revealed a forgotten century-old town. About 50 years after it was intentionally flooded, extreme heat and low rainfall have revealed the forgotten town of Pantabangan in the Philippines. So this is a ruin of an old church from the drowned town of Pantabangan. A prolonged period of little rain and intense heat in the Philippines, Nueva Ecija province, just caused a reservoir's water level to dramatically recede, exposing the ruins of a lost 300-year-old town. Kyle goes, I blame my old man for any local quakes around here. Dusty goes, that is some many do not understand about us in Hawaii. We run to see the eruption. You know what? To be honest with you, I probably would too because I'd be curious, Dusty. But it sounds scary. But I would probably run and see it because when do you see a volcano erupt? You know what I mean? That's kind of like it's like a sight to be seen, but I'd be scared at the same time. Matthew goes, it looks like it's saying pant a bangan. Sorry, just how it looks. I might even be saying it wrong. Although the village itself is around 3 centuries old, it was inhabited into the 70s. The town's population was then relocated to make way for the construction of the Tabangan Dam, which has served as the main irrigation and water sources for the region ever since. This year, however, water levels at the dam have fallen by roughly 85 feet, more than 20 feet lower than 1 year ago. As the water gradually dried up, the remnants of an old sunken church, graveyard, and various municipal structures emerged. The century-old town has since garnered significant interest among locals, some of whom have benefited from the sudden reappearance. Dusty, speaking of the volcanoes, they are mostly safe here. The lost village of Pantabangan emerges. In the 70s, the 300-year-old town of Pantabangan, I apologize if I'm pronouncing this wrong, and of course this article has to have it in every paragraph, was intentionally flooded to create a reservoir. At the time, hundreds of residents were relocated from the historic village to make way for the dam. That sucks. But maybe they needed the dam for something. But that still sucks. Just imagine living somewhere and they tell you you're being relocated because we need to put a dam here. The village has resurfaced 6 times since then, a water level as water levels receded, but this latest emergence is reportedly the longest in local memory. Now, many of the villages, former residents have been granted a rare glimpse of their old home. I got emotional because I got to recall my old life there, Melanie Dela Cruz, whose family was forced to leave the town when she was a teenager, told AFP. My heart was overwhelmed because I studied there. I was even born there. See, that sucks. That really does. Because it's a home where many generations had lived and they forced you to move because they wanted to make a dam there. Kind of sucks. The ruins have also attached crowds of tourists to the region. One fisher, Nelson Delera, told Reuters that he has begun ferrying tourists to the island for a fee, which has proven to be lucrative for him. Back then, I was only earning 20 pesos, which is $3.50 from fishing. But when the tourists arrive, I'm earning 1,500 to 1,800 per day, he said. However, the region also depends on rice farming for income, and the receding water levels are depriving farmers of necessary irrigation water. How climate change is wreaking havoc across the Southeast Asia. Extreme temperatures are impacting more than just the Philippines. All across Southeast Asia, temperatures are climbing as high as 107 degrees, ouch, Fahrenheit, leading to school closures and government urging citizens to remain indoors to avoid heat stroke. Plus, in some of those Asian countries, it is super humid. Temperatures generally average in the high of 80s to mid 90s Fahrenheit in the Philippines throughout April and May, but the prolonged heat and lack of rain in recent years are unprecedented. In fact, the heat index shows that temperatures have felt as high as 117 degrees Fahrenheit at times, when variables like humidity are factored in. Oh. There are numerous factors leading to the increased temperatures, including human-driven climate change. As a result, portions of the Philippines have seen roughly 25% of the rainfall they normally experience. Southeast Asia is also one of the most vulnerable regions in the world to the effects of climate change, and the rapid increase in temperature has caused hundreds of millions to suffer. Definitely, that is hot. Chris goes, it sounds like Florida. Kyle goes, dang, that sucks. In fact, a 2023 World Weather Attribution report said the extreme heat wave, a once in 200-year event, would have been virtually impossible to have occurred without climate change. While some locals may have benefited from the reemergence of the old town of Pantabangan, the town's resurfacing is nothing more than a side effect of a much larger problem. But it's still, I mean, it's the story of what happened. Let me see if I could pull up pictures. The story of how those people were just, give me a second here, were forced to leave their home and now they're able to see it is kind of cool, but sucks. So here are the remnants of the old town. Wow, there's not much left though. It looks like just the church is left. It also added residents gave up their property for the dam's construction, which became one of the largest reservoirs in Southeast Asia and one of the cleanest in the Philippines. According to the local government of Pantabangan, the dam irrigated the province and paved the way for Nueva Ecija to be one of the country's biggest rice producers. Oh, there's more. There's like the what do you call it? The foundations. Oops, went through that one too fast. It's kind of interesting and sad at the same time. Dusty goes eastern Washington covered and moved the town of Vantage when they created the lake reservoirs behind the dams on the Columbia River. Kyle goes climate change is controlled by the shadow government to ensure warmer temperature for the lizard people. Leonora is mentioning the city of Atlantis. Maybe it will get uncovered. That would be cool. That would be cool. That would be something I would want to see. But I guess it's kind of a blessing in a way because the families that grew up there are able to see their home and remember the memories that they had there. Jennifer Marie goes, Kyle just slinging those conspiracy theories all night. Dusty goes, I believe in Atlantis. Same here. I mean, same here. Brandon goes, hit the like or you will get haunted. I like that one, Brandon. Yes. Hit the like or they'll come after you. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Guys, just as a reminder, don't forget to smash that like button and triple check to make sure you're subscribed because Leonore was unsubscribed from myself and from Nerd Report as well. So just always triple check to make sure you're subscribed. I think D Nice was also unsubscribed from another channel. So please triple check YouTube. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. YouTube is being pesky and scandalous. That's more scandalous, not pesky. Scandalous. That's scandalous. Like, really, if somebody wants to subscribe, let them stay subscribed. Don't automatically think they don't want to be subscribed. It's kind of annoying. Leonardo's Atlantis will rise with climate change. Because YouTube is being really scandalous lately. I'm sure I've been subscribed from channels that I don't even know. So now I found this article about the Las Vegas alien video. They had a veteran, they had someone analyze it, and they're saying that it's legit. So they're saying that the Las Vegas family video that allegedly shows two aliens, two 10-foot alien figures in their backyard is legit. And this is from News Nation. Kyle goes, Atlantis existed, but not in our dimension. Matthew goes, Atlantis already had risen in the Pegasus Galaxy in Stargate Atlantis. Chris goes, who are they? Dusty goes, I think climate change is burying more land than opening it up. True. And then, of course, with the man-made dams as well. So it goes, a veteran crime scene recreation expert who analyzed the video that purports to show two creatures in a Las Vegas backyard, says the video hasn't been altered, and he believes he sees the images of not one, but two beings. Honestly, guys, I do not see anything. I have never seen. I cannot see anything when I see those videos. Even when the people like put circles and what is it? Zoomed in, I still cannot see anything. That's why I'm still kind of skeptical when it comes to this. But the experts, this veteran crime scene recreation expert, is saying that this video has yet to be altered. Chris goes, I've never seen any. I haven't seen any. I don't see anything either. So I don't know. I always felt that it was like pareidolia, where your mind wants to see what it wants to see. But according to the experts, they're saying that it is legit. And again, there's no editing. That is an original video, he told New Nation Banfield on Friday. We tried to debunk it to see if there was something that was added to the video. All of our results come back as it was authentic. It was April 30th, 2023, when the Kenmore family called 911 to report something not human in their backyard. Police investigated in part because other officers had spotted a mysterious flashing light in the sky that same night, which kind of put their situation kind of in stone, because actual police officers spotted something weird too as well. But proving the video hasn't been altered doesn't confirm what it shows. And Roeder says it took a lot of viewers before he spotted something that he initially missed, two beings in the video at the same time. Roeder used motion tracking software, which also pinpoints the source of the motion. We took the vector motion, points in space, and then we attached that to a figure in the background to show that the movements of the shadow reflects the movement of body that is attached to the head. We don't believe it's a floating head, he added. He believes it's attached to a body. I never thought it would. Did any of you guys think that the stuff that, for any of you that saw something in that video, not saying that, because some of us can see things, maybe some of us can see things that some can't, which there's nothing wrong with it. But even if I saw something, I never thought of it as a floating head. I don't know why, but this guy had to mention it. And he goes, I believe it's attached to a body, which I never questioned that it wasn't attached to a body. My question was, I didn't really see anything, but people were seeing stuff. Leonard goes, eyes could play trick. Yes. So I don't know. Even the people that zoomed in, like I said earlier, the people that zoomed in, circled it, highlighted the bodies, I still couldn't see anything. And the motion of that head from right to left is consistent with the motion that we see between the slats of the fence, or slates of the fence. It's there. It's absolutely there. Adding to his belief, the reaction of the Kenmore family, all of whom appeared to be genuinely startled by what they saw. Ben Hansen, the host of the UFO Witness on Discovery Plus, isn't so sure. He agrees with the digital expert in the UK who believes the creature is really a shadow cast by a flashlight held by a Kenmore family member. I'm convinced it's explainable, Hansen said. But Roeder says that that's not how shadows work. He says the image appearing above the fence doesn't have a surface to show a shadow. I don't understand how the shadow could just be floating above the fence. I don't believe that makes any sense. Roeder says if debunkers believe it's a shadow caused by a light source, they need to replicate it. If that happens, then he'll consider the validity. So there's people that think it's a shadow, and there's people that actually think it's legit. Kyle goes, people see what they want to see. Chris goes, float. We all float down. Dusty goes, Waterworld showed us lost cities. That's where he got his soil. Leonor goes, the shadow. Dun, dun, dun. I'm still skeptical when it comes to the Las Vegas family. They did look scared. I'm not saying that the video is fake. I'm saying that I didn't see anything in that video. And of course, if you hear sounds or hear something moving, you're gonna be scared in your backyard. You know what I mean? So their reaction to me is real. With the family is real. But then when he started bringing up that his house was being haunted, it kind of he was having paranormal activity in the house. It kind of lost his validity for me with that one. But Carol goes double exposure. It can happen on SD cards. Or even too, Carol, when you upload a video too, you don't get the same quality, especially if you're uploading to YouTube, you don't get the same quality as when you film it. And it could be the lighting, what camera she used. Obviously, it was probably her cell phone, but, um, to use to film it. I believe it. I don't know who was holding the phone. I wanna say the mother was maybe, or his mother? Almost dropped my phone. But like I was saying, I do believe that their reactions were real, that they heard something in their backyard, but what they saw, I'm still a little skeptical about. What about you? What about you guys after hearing this article? Do you still are you or have you been skeptical, or have you actually, or did you believe the family that they had actually seen an alien figure in their backyard even after seeing the video? Leonardo still iffy. Jennifer Marie goes, they saw something. I don't know what they saw, but it was an alien. Kind of agree with you on that one, Jennifer Marie. There was something there. I just don't know what it was. And I don't think, yeah, I don't think it was an alien because I still. Dusty goes, totally think they were genuinely scared. I think they were too. If you hear a noise in your backyard, you're going to be scared. I mean, they had pew pew strapped to their hip or in their hands when they were going to the backyard. But that's what some homeowners do. If they hear a noise in the backyard, they're going to assume someone is stealing something. It looked like they had tractors and heavy equipment in their backyard. So maybe someone was trying to steal something. So they're going to go back there and see it. So I agree with you, Dusty. That's they look like I believe they were scared with whatever they saw or what they heard. Chris goes, I'm pretty sure that I never believed them. I've always been skeptical of them. Um, and that still hasn't changed. I know the kid went on there from one of the previous streams I had where he's like, if you don't believe me, I don't care. This happened. He's steadfast on his belief and his reaction that he's not going to change, except the only thing he did change was now he believes it's a demon. So to each his own. Leonard goes, it was very sus, very, very sus from the beginning. And why are they coming out and still talking about it? Come on now. It's kind of like Leonard, it's kind of like the news is, where are they now or how they're doing a year later. So the news was kind of recapping, which I get it. They do that. But now he added onto his story. And now this came out where there's experts looking at it and saying the video is legit. So I don't know. I mean, I know there's people out there that really want the proof that, you know, extraterrestrials exist. So they're gonna go by means to find the proof. And they're gonna debunk, they're gonna test things out. So I get it. I understand it. Jennifer Burry goes, fallen angel demons don't fall from the sky, but I suppose angels can. Chris goes, I hope they did see something, but I didn't see anything in that video. Dusty goes, the flashball in the sky was seen by others, could have created an image in their minds of what they saw or heard. Exactly, because sometimes your mind is automatically set to, oh my God, that is an alien spacecraft. I don't care what anybody says. So I am going to believe that is what I'm going to believe, and I'm going to I'm going to put my foot down, which I get it. I understand it. There's some people that are automatically going to believe without questioning it. Um, Jennifer Murray goes, could have been an intruder that was just like, yes, let me think I'm an alien. It is Vegas. It could have been someone that stumbled upon the wrong backyard because they partied a little too much on the strip. You you never know. There's a number of things. But we will never know because we were not there. That's the only thing. If we were there, it'd be a different story. Then I feel like we can say, I was there, this is what I saw, but we weren't there. So it's all based on kind of what we think it might have been. Even after seeing the video, it's like, this is what my opinion of it is. Chris Chris goes, the alien came back and stole their car. Chris, I don't think after allegedly hearing what that aliens are allegedly supposed to have better technology than we, I don't think they want our cars. Dusty goes, let's party in Vegas. I don't think they would want our cars. They'd be like, this relic, get it out of our face. We've got the space Truzen 2000 that goes way faster than this thing ever will. You know what I mean? Jennifer Murray goes, not a chance in hell another species in the universe looks at our world and thinks, yep, that's for me. I cannot be convinced. Chris goes, I haven't been to Vegas in like 15 years. I'm up for a party. Leonard goes, no, Arizona. That's where we're going to be partying in July. Bernadette goes, I can handle it more than you, Brandon. Bring it. I can handle Vegas. I've been there, I think, a year ago? You gotta be careful with some of them locals. So, you got some crazy locals there that are very yeah. That like to flash you. I mean, everything. D-Nice! What is up? What? They're making me I had this cool article and now they're making me subscribe to read it. What? Oh, maybe I'll be able to see it. No, they're making me subscribe to see it. Forget you. It was the first documented haunting in the US and they want me to subscribe to see it. Forget it. As Okay, for you guys in Colorado, have you heard of Chet Cheeseman? Is it Cheeseman Park? Cheeseman Park. Oh, D Nice, I don't think you did. D Nice is saying, hopefully, I didn't bring back any spooky zoo ghosts back with me. I've been there. I went there and I didn't bring anything back, so I think you're good. Dusty goes, been about 8 years since my last Vegas trip. I enjoy the shows. Nothing like that in rural Hawaii. D Nice goes, how much is it to subscribe? I didn't even look. I don't even know. Oh, it's from the Bangor Daily News. It says $16.99. That's not worth it for an article. Bernadette goes, yes, I don't recommend it at night or daytime. So we're going to move on to the next article because that one wants to be pesky. So the haunted history of Denver's Cheeseman Park. There are thousands of bodies under this popular Denver park from its time as a city cemetery. With charming tree-lined streets, well-kept bungalows, and lavish brick mansions, as well as eclectic local businesses, it's no surprise Cheeseman Park, actually at first I thought it was Chestman Park, is one because I wasn't really paying attention of the spelling. Is one of the most desirable neighborhoods in Denver. Cheeseman Park is one of Denver's oldest neighborhoods, a small, densely populated area bordered by Colfax Avenue of the north, York Street on the east, 8th Avenue on the south, and Downing Street on the west. Besides being named one of the hottest neighborhoods in Denver of 2016 by a real estate site Redfin, the neighborhood is considered very bicycle friendly, coming in as the number 3rd most bikeable Denver neighborhood in May of 2015, reported from Walk Score, for anyone that wanted to know that score. Much of the neighborhood is taken up by the 80.7-acre Cheeseman Park itself, named for Denver businessman Walter Scott Cheeseman. That is a great last name. On weekends and warm evenings, the shady paths are crowded with joggers, dog walkers, and cyclists, while public picnic blankets, walkers and cyclists, while public picnic blanket. Did I say that? Oh my gosh. Told you I can't read today. Volleyball nets and yoga mats dote the expensive lawns. The park is also an unofficial LGBTQ gathering area as it hosts some of the city's biggest advocacy events. It's the starting point of the annual Pride Parade and home to the AIDS Walk Colorado. But the park hasn't always been so lovely. A ghostly photo tour of Denver's Cheeseman Park. The bodies buried under Cheeseman Park. In 1859, the Mount Prospect Cemetery opened on 160 acres of land in the brand new city of Denver. At the time, cemeteries were similar to today's parks. They were where people would go on walks or have weekend picnics. The land that was chosen for the cemetery was therefore some of the most desirable open spaces in the area. It was founded on the highest point in the vicinity with sweeping views of the land around it. Mount Prospect was busy for years, but as new cemeteries were built closer into town, it became a less practical burial place. By the 1880s, it had become run down, and the city wanted to turn it into a park. Dun, dun, dun! Because D. Nice goes, was he lactose intolerant? Because of a provision with the land scale, Congress had to approve of the transition, which they did on January 25th of 1890. Now they needed to move the more than 5,000 bodies that were buried there. The city first offered the families of those who were buried there a free plot at another graveyard. After several years, only about 700 bodies had been moved. To move the rest, the city hired an undertaker named E.P. McGovern. So I guess this is a photo of that area when it was a cemetery. McGovern's contract was for $1.90 per coffin, so he came up with a sinister plot to make more money. What? I mean, I guess that back then $1.90 was a lot of money. Now it's like nothing. It's chump change. You can't even buy a coffee with $1.90. McGovern is infamously, you can't even buy a gallon of gas anymore for $1.90. Put it that way. McGovern is infamously known for dismembering bodies and then splitting up body parts into different coffins. What? Soon there were body parts and discarded coffin pieces strewn about the park. The city knew they had to do something. McGovern was pulled off the job after he had removed about 1,000 of the remaining bodies. Instead of hiring someone else to finish the job properly, the city simply pulled out the remaining headstones. It is estimated there are around 3,000 bodies left buried under Cheeseman Park. All right, now I know why Bernadette says it's not good to go during the day or at night. Dusty goes, this is great. It is. That is crazy. Slowly, the graves were mostly forgotten about and construction on a park began. But, I mean, somebody might have a loved one, a distant relative that was buried at the cemetery, and they have no clue that they're buried there.
Hyundai Tucson Hybrid.
Oh my gosh, that sucks. That really does. Slowly, all because Miss McGovern was being greedy. Slowly, the graves were mostly forgotten about and construction on a park began. The modern layout of Cheeseman Park only encompasses a portion of the land that was part of the original cemetery. Just south of Mount Prospect, a pest house or hospital for those with extremely contagious and terminal diseases like smallpox was heavily used during the time the cemetery was active. Thousands of people were brought there and left to die. The area of the pest house is now a street lined with pristine homes. What? I wonder if any of those pristine homes have any visitors. Dusty goes, I don't think it's right to move some. I don't think it is either. I feel it's wrong. I know they did that a lot in the past, but I just feel like it's you know what this is? This is just like Poltergeist, where they removed the headstones, but they didn't move the bodies. Leonor goes, $1.90 is now $10. You still can't buy a meal for $10 now in the state. I would say in the state of California, or fast food meal. I would say. D Nice goes, did you know there are actual places housing unclaimed urns? No. D Nice goes, after the expiration of a 5-year timeline and a recipient hasn't been located, a funeral director may scatter the ashes at a chosen crematorium or in an appropriate location, such as a cemetery or land with the owner's permission. Dusty, I agree. They could have made it a memorial and built the park around it. But they're also saying there was a pest house for people with terminal or contagious diseases like smallpox, and a lot of people were left to die, and they built houses over it where the location of the pest house was. Bernadette goes, at night, sometimes you could hear crying, but you don't know if that's ghost or the bums. Matthew goes, agree unless it was officially done with the religious leaders of the community blesses it. Leonora goes, many soldiers in the Civil War. The Denver Botanic Gardens is also on land that was once part of the Catholic portion of the cemetery. Hebrew burial grounds and the Chinese cemetery were redeveloped into portions of today's Congress Park. The rest was built over and is now residential. I'm wondering if the Chris goes ghost bums. I'm wondering if any of those houses have some uninvited guests. Bones are still found regularly at both Cheeseman Park and the Denver Botanic Gardens during construction projects. The most recent was in 2010 during irrigation work at the park, where workers uncovered 4 skeletons near the park's pavilion. Please tell me they properly disposed of them. They probably didn't. That is just sad. I feel like just the way that this article was written, I feel like they didn't properly dispose of these 4 skeletons that were found. Bernadette goes, I'm sure they do. Leonora goes, yes, Lisa, fast food's more expensive, but people don't want to cook. That's true. Dusty goes, not a park I would want to visit. The Hauntings. Due to the area's creepy past, it's commonly recognized as one of the most haunted places in the state. Ghostly encounters are reported in the park and at several of the surrounding homes. In fact, the horror film The Changeling was inspired by the paranormal activity the writer experienced while living in a mansion in Whoa, I did not know, and I saw that movie recently. That is crazy. I just saw this movie the other day in Cheeseman Park. I had no idea, but the problem is The Changeling was it had beautiful like cinematography, but the story was like it was a slow burn. But I do miss movies because you don't see movies filmed like that nowadays. But it was a slow burn, but I did not know it was inspired by paranormal activity. While the author, that's crazy. While the writer, what he had experienced while in Cheeseman Park. There are several ghost tours dedicated to telling the stories of the area's haunting. D. Nice goes, seriously? Hollywood Forever is an amazing cemetery with sections dedicated to specific religions. Again, my best friend's father's funeral was there and was cremated right after. Chris Barber, both Chris and D. Nice like the Changeling. Chris Barber, yes, George C. Scott. I saw some actors in there that I hadn't seen in a while. And it makes me appreciate those movies better than I have a better appreciation for those movies now after watching that one. Kind of made me realize why I liked the older horror movies compared to now. Magpie Paranormal offers 2-hour walking tours focusing specifically on Cheeseman Park's haunted history on weekends leading up to Halloween. The Denver Botanic Gardens also has a Ghost in the Gardens tour. Oh, I like that. That's kind of cool. Come to Ghost in the Gardens, where you might see an unlikely skeleton lurking behind the begonias. That takes visitors around the grounds and inside some of the buildings that are known for being haunted. Find dates to buy tickets here. There are several other companies throughout the city that offer ghost tours that also include Cheeseman Park and Cheeseman Park and surrounding areas. So, guys, what do you think of Cheeseman Park? You know what? I would go there. I don't care if there's bodies buried there. I would go there. I would want to actually see if I would experience anything. D. Nice goes Ghost in the Gardens, featuring Ghost in the Nudes. Jennifer Marie goes, it has a cheesy ass names. Kyle goes, sounds kind of cheesy. Chris goes, I love a good ghost story movie. Leonor goes, oh, like Stephen King. Sometimes your best inspiration is from something you've actually experienced. But that is crazy. I'm sure McGovern was haunted the hell out before his death for being greedy, and I'm pretty sure he he regrets doing what he did. Or at least I hope he was. Brandon wants to eat fancy cheese in Cheeseman Park. Bernadette goes, I would do an investigation there with you, Lisa, but we need bum protection. We can bring Lewis with us, Bernadette. We can bring Lewis and Brandon. They can be our bum protection. It sounds interesting. The whole area sounds interesting. I don't know why. It does. We could just be saying we're just taking a stroll in the park. Chris goes, just bring a few bottles of wine. Let me see. Hold on. I have another one. Give me a second, guys. I have another one that I found in Colorado that Bernadette may know. Lakeside Amusement Park. I didn't find much information on this except for a Facebook page for Colorado haunted history. And another article that's 10 things you didn't know about Lakeside Amusement Park. D Nice is like, what the F is up with Colorado, Bernadette? Bernadette goes, the Molly Brown house is right next to there, also on Pennsylvania Avenue. That is supposed to be haunted as well. I think Bernadette, after reading like the area itself, how it used to be a cemetery and how there was a pest house in the location as well, I'm pretty sure that whole area is probably haunted, and some of the people living there have haunted houses. Not sure if I would want to live there, but it sounds like an interesting area. I feel like that area, for some odd reason, I feel like not that you would catch anything every time you go ghost hunting, but I feel like that area you would at least catch something. I just feel like it. Bernadette goes, oh my God, not Lakeside. That place is haunted because it will kill you. Those rides are not up to date at all. Oldest wind roller coaster around. So the only thing I was able to find, Bernadette, because there's not much about that area, was a death. So this isn't from the Facebook. And I Googled and I literally could not find anything besides another article that lists 10 things you didn't know about Lakeside Amusement Park. Which I will talk about after this. This one I found on Facebook on Colorado Haunted History. On this date in 1915, which is August 26th. This is an old posting too. Clicked off of it. Oh, actually, you know what? It actually clicked onto the thing. So, the first picture you saw the roller coaster. So on this date, which is August 26th, In 1915, Lakeside Amusement Park had its first and only death on the Derby coaster. It wasn't the first accident, as 4 years prior, a woman fell out and was scalped and severely mangled. It could have been intentional. The Derby was torn down in 1937 and replaced with the current Cyclone coaster in 1940. So I guess this next excerpt is from the Rocky Mountain News. It says hurled to death on park coaster. Dude, they wouldn't write like that now. 100 see accident at close of war spectacle at Lakeside, thrown from a speeding train on the Derby coaster at Lakeside Park. Paul Seldmar, 22 of 2841 West 24th Avenue, was instantly, they don't write like this anymore, was instantly killed and his body frightfully mangled shortly after 11 o'clock last night. They definitely do not write like this. Hundreds of people witnessed the accident, which occurred just at the close of the Great War spectacle on the lake, and within a few minutes, 10,000 persons had gathered in that section of the park, jamming the pathways and retarding the work of removing the boy from the trestle work, whence it was lowered to the ground by a rope. Violated promise given sister. Sedmeyer was at Lakeside without the knowledge of his sister, Miss Irene Sedmeyer, with whom he lived, and in spite of his definite promise to her earlier in the evening that he would not go to the park, but would remain at home with her or accompany her someplace, as she did not wish to remain home alone, the other members of the family being obliged to work. The accident occurred just opposite the ballroom on the last stretch of the track, and at a point where the track makes a slight turn to clear the ballroom building. Lurched as curve reached. According to passengers on the same train and the contesting train, Sedmeyer appeared to be leaning out of the seat, and his body lurched out of the car just as it rounded the turn and aligned on the double railing between the two sets of tracks. The train on the opposite track was slightly behind the one on which Sedmeyer was a passenger, and according to the witnesses, Sedmeyer's body was dragged a few feet and bounced back and forth between the two trains. Like I said, they definitely do not write like this anymore in the newspaper. There'd be so many people. Bernadette goes, they'd be hiding stuff. Just saying. As soon as the accident became known upon the arrival of Sedmeyer's train in the station, the machinery of the Derby was stopped and no other trains ran during the evening. Sedmeyer was with a party of friends during the evening. He was seated in the front of the Derby train with Charles. They definitely don't give out this much information nowadays too as well. He was seated in the front of the Derby train with Charles Scheck, who lives on Hayward Place between Irving and Hill Streets. According to Scheck, Sedmeyer was beside him when the train took the lead just before reaching the ballroom. They were watching the display of fireworks on the lake when they reached the curve near the ballroom, and Scheck felt his friend's body lurch from the seat. I tried to catch a hold of him, but couldn't, and the next minute he was gone, said Scheck hysterically. Last night, I heard him shriek and then felt the bumping of the trains as they ground the body between them, and as soon as we got into the station, I told the man who runs the Derby, and they spotted the machinery. Friend is prostrated. That would definitely, oh my God, I don't know what I would do if I had saw that. Scheck was prostrated by the death of his friend and was raving when the body was finally taken from the track. His physical condition was such that he was attended by a physician and then taken to his home in an automobile and under restraints of friends. Joseph Mathers of 3360 West 35th Avenue was another witness who described the accident. He was in the car directly behind that in which Sedmeyer sat. I was watching the fireworks when I suddenly saw a man in the front car lurch from his seat, said Mathers. Apparently, he fell between the tracks and the rest of our cars, and those of the other trains bumped the body between them. There was one awful shriek, and that was all. Oh. William Vogt, employed in the news business office, was one of the two trains following the one of which the fatality occurred. He said last night that the passenger on his train heard the shriek as Sedmeyer plunged to his death, but though it is a cry of some merrymaker startled by the explosion of the giant crackers and dynamite used in the war spectacle. Owner of creamery, Sedmeyer was 22 years old. That is sad. And unmarried, living with his father, Paul R. Sedmeyer, who is a night watchman at Zang's Brewery, his sister, Miss Irene Sedmeyer, and two brothers, Carl and Harry. Although a young man, Sedmeyer was successful in business, owning and operating the Manhattan Creamery at 2916 Irving Street. Until a representative of for 22, he had his life set. He owned a business. That's kind of sad. Until a representative of the news called her by phone, Miss Sedmeyer had not been advised of the accident. She was alone in the house at the time. It was not informed of her brother's death, but merely that he had been in an accident and was injured. First fatality on the Derby. I asked him not to go to Lakeside. She said he left here around 7:15, and I said, "You're going to Lakeside?" He said he would not, but that he would come home and stay with me, or that he would come home and get me, and then we would go somewhere together. That was the last time he promised, but when it began to get late and he didn't come, I knew he probably had met some friends and had gone to Lakeside anyways. Sedmeyer's death is the first fatality to occur on the Derby, although tens of thousands of persons have ridden on it this year and in years past. So this is the said with that very descriptive news article. Julissa, what's up? That is the roller coaster. D Nice goes, yeah, that would be triggering for sure if written today. Canceled, definitely. It would be dismissed. And also, too, back then, they also gave your address. That's a big no-no. They would not do that nowadays. But that is just crazy. That article, that news clipping was very descriptive nonetheless, but sad at the same time because he seemed like a very young man that had a good head on his shoulders. So I feel sad about that. And I also have 10 things you don't know about Lakeside Park because I wasn't able to find much about it. There is not much about it at all, to be honest with you. I just happened to, I don't know how I found it. It just popped up out of nowhere. And I was like,
being like high class
10 things you didn't know about Lakeside Amusement Park in Lakeside, Colorado. More than just a spot to enjoy an inexpensive evening, roller coaster rides, and soft serve ice cream. Lakeside Amusement Park is placed packed with living history. Built in 1908, the beautiful park has stood the test of time, and in some areas within its gates, time has actually more than just a spot to enjoy an inexpensive evening of roller coaster rides and soft serve ice cream. Lakeside Amusement Park is a place packed with living history. Built in 1908. Oh, it's redoing what the intro is saying. Built in 1908, the beautiful park has stood the test of time, and in some areas within its gates, time has actually stood still, retaining much of the end of the Victorian era charm that makes it a unique summertime destination for locals and visitors. We could give you a million reasons why you should visit Colorado's oldest amusement park before the season is over, but instead we've compiled a list of some not so well known facts about one of the area's most mysterious, most fascinating summer attractions. And after what Bernadette said, I am not going. Lakeside was opened as White City in 1908, one of many amusement parks with the same name and architectural style across the country. Just imagine, and it's probably haunted too. Built in the Beaux Arts style of the Chicago World's Fair of 1893, Lakeside was once known as White City. It boasted hundreds of thousands of twinkling lights across the acres of parks. The former formal entrance on Sheraton used to greet visitors with the still standing Tower of Jewels, which was once ablaze with 16,000 individual bulbs. The park is still on the original plot of land. The same can't be said for Elch Gardens, the only other amusement park in the area, and many of the original 1908 structures and buildings remain, which is a rarity for a park of its age. Supposedly, there were dozens of white cities built across the country as the turn of the last century, and Lakeside is said to be the last remaining amusement park of this style. Since Lakeside opened in 1908, it has only changed hands once. The park was developed by prominent Denver brewer Adolf Zang and F.J. Krishoff at the turn of the last century and then sold to Ben Krasner in the 30s. Krasner's daughter, Rodna Krasner, or Rhoda Krasner, that is an unusual name, who is the namesake of the body of water the park sits on because her father renamed it upon purchase, still runs the park today. Keep reading for 8 more things you don't know about Lakeside. Bernadette goes, I used to take the Love Tunnel train as a teenager and jump out and make out. Now it's a drug kind of thing, sadly. Oh, that sucks. Lakeside Amusement Park used to have a swimming pool and a theater, full bars, a dance hall, and a speedway, and more. Back when social activities were more formal, Lakeside was home to the gorgeous casino theater and the El Patio Ballroom. But it was also the site of the Lakeside Speedway, which closed in 1988 and had a tragic story behind it and a public pool that was open until 11 p.m. every night. Lakeside Amusement Park is located in Lakeside, Colorado, which we had already said. Lakeside isn't just the name of the amusement park, it is the name of the very small town where it resides. Why its own town? As the park was being planned back in the early 1900s, Denver's strict liquor laws would have prevented the park from serving alcohol, something it did up until about a decade and a half ago. As of the last census, the municipality of Lakeside has a population of 8 people. Of 8 people? This kitsy notion of a city isn't exactly something that makes everyone happy, though, as Denver Urbanism pointed out a few years ago, the bogus municipality led to the construction of a Walmart in the tiny Colorado town right on the edge of Denver. The location of the carousel may have moved within the park, but the beautiful roundabout ride is still the same. Some animals are original to the ride, but many have been salvaged from multiple carousels, giving it a particular charm and look. It like jumped. It did. The carousel's current housing was designed by an architect, green energy building pioneer, and neon specialist Richard Crother. You'll spot many of Crother's gorgeous Art Deco additions decorating the park in the form of ticket booths and other accents. Crother's work can be seen throughout Colorado, but his legacy is definitely highlighted by his unique touches to Lakeside, like the Cyclone coaster housing and the Hurricane ticket booth. This is unrelated to Crowther's design, but pay extra attention to the painting that runs around the center of the carousel. It is a touch risque in nature, as the women are portrayed with disproportionately huge breasts, and the organ wagon in the illustration bears the number 69. Huh. Interesting. The guy was a perv. Or he was a horn dog. Not a perv, a horn dog. Put it that way. Yes, there have been plenty of offers to buy Lakeside develop the property, and no owner, Rhonda Krasner, is not interested. Owner Rhoda, I'm saying Rhoda Krasner is notoriously uninterested in selling a property or partnering with an investor to put money into fixing it up. The beauty of Lakeside may be in the eye of the beholder, but anyone who visits the park and gets its old school charm knows the park is fine just the way it is. Krasner has been known to say that part of the reason she hasn't struck a deal is because she wishes to stick to her father's been original intent to keeping the park affordable to all. The Funhouse, an iconic attraction mentioned most by old school Lakeside visitors, that was located where the dragon now sits, was one of the most visibly notable parts of the park. A giant animated paper mache puppet woman known as Laughing Sal greeted riders there with her hysterical cackle. Word is she may still be in storage somewhere in the park. Lakeside has a Freemason connection. Through the park, there are subtle signs of Freemason influence from iron crosses and Maltese crosses adorning the original building that have now been painted over to a carousel horse, still dressed in Knights Templar garb. Visual cues abound. Tom London of local history blog The Denver Eye shared more about this connection in a recent interview. Anyone is interested. Lakeside 1940s Cyclone has been officially recognized as a historic coaster. I'm surprised there's nothing about like hauntings. Replacing the 1912 Derby Racer coaster, the Cyclone was designed after a coaster that owner Ben Krasner saw in New Orleans. One of the only a few pre-World War II coasters in operation in the country today, the Cyclone Station architecture is possibly longtime park architecture Richard Crother's greatest work within Lakeside ground. Yes, besides his carousel artwork. Lakeside Miniature Train has been a park attraction since 1908. For a panoramic view of Lakeside after dark, take a ride on one of the park's miniature trains. Lakeside owns both a steam engine and diesel engine train. The tiny but mighty versions of these locomotives operate just like a full-size version, taking passengers on a slow but worthwhile trip around the lake. Lakeside Amusement Park is still open through select dates, but no mention of hauntings. But considering it's been around since 1908, I would think something is there. Bernadette goes, they still have a mirror maze there. I'll tell you what, never drink a lot and go in there. You'll be like, ouch, ouch, how do I get out of here? So, Bernadette goes, yeah, and you still have to park in the dirt. So, it does not, I mean, I guess it'd be cool not to ride the rides there. Especially the roller coasters. Because it's been around since 1908, but it'd probably be cool to walk her. And then Bernadette saying of the locals are kind of taking over some of the places, so it doesn't seem like it's safe. But I would think there would be, since it's been around so long, there would be maybe some ghostly residents, but it did not say anything about that, and there's very little information on that park. I could not find hardly anything. Dusty, this has changed my image of Denver. Before I believed it to be a centurion town created by immigrant Mexicans and agriculture, mostly sweet sugar beets. And yes, no water slides, Leonora. I don't think anybody would want to go on a water slide there. Bernadette goes, but get this, that's where everyone takes their kids. Well, oh my gosh. I mean, that yeah. I mean, I mean, it's still open, so obviously the rides are in so so that just is like, and I would assume if there was many deaths, it wouldn't still be open, but still, I do not think I would trust those rides. I don't even trust the rides on like at music festivals. So I definitely won't trust the rides there. Bernadette goes, it's in real bad shape. Okay, so people are just lucky. Or there's some guardian angels there or something. or there, like I said, there's ghosts there that are protecting people. Oh my gosh. There's very little information on it. There was a blog of some girl saying that what she experienced there, but I was like, I don't want to read a blog of somebody. I want like a article. But guys, I am opening it up for questions, and real quick before I forget, Skeleduck, like D Nice is saying, Skeleduck is being nosy. He is right there, right where my finger's pointing. He's going, "What's up, guys? I am going to make my presence very subtle, and I'm going to show my nose, or my beak in this case." So he is right there, guys. D Nice goes, "I feel like I would need to get a tetanus shot if I went there." Kyle goes, "I knew it." Dusty goes, "Doesn't Denver have a closed canyon they use for rock concerts?" I know they have. The only thing I know that they have in Colorado is Red Rocks, which is what I've heard. And I heard that it's a cool venue. Bernadette goes, "I finally found that pinche duck." But I don't know the history of Red Rocks. I never looked into it, but I do know of that, of Red Rocks. Kyle goes, "He's shy and he's trying to skip out on the bill." Dusty missed the duck. Yeah, he kind of just wanted to like kind of peek out just a little bit this time. D Dice goes, "Skeleduck always sticking his beak into other businesses." All right, guys, keep the questions coming. If you have any questions, criticisms, complaints. I don't know. I just like saying that. Why not? Any movie recommendations? Horror movies that you recommend that you've seen that I haven't seen as well. I've had my orb appear in my studio, so my studio ghost is live and well. I just don't know who or what it is because I put my equipment on and nothing comes up. Dusty goes, "Do you go on old wooden roller coasters?" No, I do not. I do not like roller coasters. I do not. I don't like anything that goes fast that I don't have control of. Disneyland ones I could go on, but Magic Mountain, no. No Magic Mountain. I am not a roller coaster. I went on Ninja once and I thought I was going to die. And I literally was saying I am going to die throughout the whole thing. Julissa goes, "Did you share the orb video?" I did not. I don't have it downloaded to my computer. I will share it the next time because I got quite a few. I will share it on my next stream. I forgot to download them to my computer. They are on my phone, but not on my computer. Matthew goes, I wished it was fall already. I used my PKE meter, see if there are ghosts in the neighborhood. D Nice goes, I have nothing but praise for you. I am sore because today was the day I did legit bear crawls in over 4 years. The trail was steeper because the steps were busted from what I remembered. Wow. I know when I first got back into hiking, like my legs were shaking from going uphill, but now I'm good. Like you kind of, D Nice, you kind of have to just keep at it and then your legs will get used to it. Kyle goes, you should hire the studio ghost as your producer, make him earn your keys to keep. I should, Kyle. He likes to turn off my equipment at the inappropriate times. Chris is going, the Beast of King Island is the best. Leonor goes, I watched the Pooh movie horror. What? A part 2? Yes, there's a part 2, Leonor. But I heard the part 2 is actually good. I heard from people that didn't, and this is coming from someone like someone who didn't like the first one, and he had said that in his review, and he said that this one wasn't that bad. But I'm gonna wait for it to come on streaming, and I'll let you guys know. D Nice goes, what about those 90-degree drops into pools? Dusty, I have never actually. I've been to a water park, but I've never gone down the slides, which I probably won't. Matthew goes, get them to stop messing with your stuff or pay rent. D Nice goes, I'm eager to get back at it. My eye's still not good. I need to still take it easy, but it was a nice hike. I'm glad you enjoyed it, D Nice. Leonor goes, balance, core, strength, and all others. Sorry, my education. That's okay, Leonor. Nothing wrong with that. Bernadette goes, let's do bumper cars. I will do bumper cars. I feel like that's the only safe thing. I don't even trust the Ferris wheel anymore. Like at music festivals, especially at music festivals, they have like carnival rides at some of them. I'm like, no. And I see people go on them and I like, no, not today. Death. Not today. Bernadette goes, I won't ever go down the slides again. The darn thing ripped my top off. Oh, hell no. How embarrassing. I have never gone down the slide. I probably never will. I know we have like, what is it? The Wolf Lodge, which has like an indoor water park, but I heard it's super expensive, but I probably will never. I just like the name of it. But I'll probably never go down the slides. I'll probably like stay in the pools or go down. Like I've done like the lagoon thing where you get on an inner tube and you just float around. I like that. That to me is safe. Bernadette, yeah, I gave people a free booby show. Oh no. Dusty goes, my daughter-in-law had her Pareto split in half on a water slide. Oh. No. Now you guys are making me not want to go on a water slide. I don't know. I watched even the ones where they get on like the the inflatable raft. Hell no. No. Unless it's one of those slow, if it's like a nice incline, like a like a baby slide, you might see me on that. But not no. I don't like the Jurassic Park ride at Universal Studios. I will not like a water slide. Unless I'm controlling it. If I'm controlling it, that's another story. Bernadette goes, those wave pools are crazy too. Don't care for them. Leonora goes, damn women, make sure your suits fit right, no matter if it's cute. I'm just not like a swimsuit type of person. Or the sun. I'll go hiking in it, but I'm not a fan of the sun. I don't like sunburn. So I kind of stay away from pools. Though I like swimming, if there was a pool where you could swim at night, I wouldn't mind doing that, and I don't have a pool. D Nice goes wetsuits or lifesavers. I may have to do that, D Nice, because I do not like sunburn. I don't. Or wear a wetsuit down a water slide, like a full body wetsuit. Just make sure you have something underneath in case it rips. Chris goes, I haven't owned a swimsuit in like 20 years. I have one somewhere. All right, guys. Any last minute questions? Bernadette goes, I used to think when I was little after seeing Jaws it was going to come up the drain or toilet. D Nice goes, my pool has been calling me soon. Lucky you have a pool, D Nice. I mean, if I had a pool, I'd probably, like at night, I'd be swimming in it. Or put a big ass tarp over it. That's what I would do. And like have a portion of it where it's sunny. And then another portion for me where it's not sunny. I'm like a vampire in that sense. I'm a vampire, but I'm not a vampire. Put it that way. Bernadette goes, pretend the tub is a pool. I'll be sitting in the tub with my margarita in one hand, iced tea in the other. D Nice goes, it's only 3 feet to 5 feet back to 3. My boyfriend's parents' pool is 3 to 10 feet ish. Oh, still though, D Nice, that's still a cool pool. It's a pool. Dusty goes, swimming pools in Florida have to be covered so the gators don't come in. I always wondered that. I always see swimming pools like enclosed in like this like a covered patio type thing, and I'm like, why is it looks nice, don't get me wrong, and I think it's cool, and I didn't think of the gators. I keep forgetting that Florida is full of gators, but now that makes sense. Leonard goes, wetsuits are good for surfing, just a full body swimsuit. Yeah, then you don't have to get sunburned. It's a bathing suit for vampires. And then you figure out the top, like you wear a head or big huge hat. They're beautiful though, like the swimming pools in Florida, like how they have them covered, and I I just never thought of the gators. D Nice goes, indoor pools are nice. I like the pools at the Y. I can swim forever. Those are nice too. Julissa goes, or a long sleeve rash guards, or they've got like a long sleeve. I saw on Amazon that they have long sleeve shirts. Yeah, like the rash guards, long sleeve shirts that you can wear and swim in as well, which I thought of getting. Then maybe I'll be more inclined to jump in the pool. Then when I had a gym membership, they had a pool, but I never went in it. True. I agree with you, D Nice. Lazy rivers at resorts are a hit or miss depending on how many kids are there. True. Very true. Leonardo sitting on a lounge chair to tan. I won't be tanning. I don't mind getting some sun. I just don't like too much of it. All right, guys. Any last minute questions before I lose my voice for some odd reason? D Nice goes, you're swimming in Arizona? A lot of times I don't. Because they close the pool like at freaking what time do they close? They close it early. And I always want to. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go in when the sun goes down. Because it's still hot in Arizona when it and I thought, but I never make it. So this year I'm gonna see if I can. I never make it because we're ending up doing other things. Julissa would like me to wish her husband Mark a happy birthday. Happy birthday, Mark. I hope you had a great birthday and a wonderful day. That is awesome, Julissa. Brandon goes, swimming in Arizona is a necessity in the summer. It definitely is because it's hot in Arizona. Leonore goes, wear a hat. My mom suffers this. D Nice goes, they should leave. I know they should. Dusty goes, I sunbathe topless on my back Lonnie so I don't get Lions jungle coverage. That's cool. I mean, if you could do that, that's cool. I always say I'm going to jump in the pool and then we end up doing something else and I don't get a chance. Leonore, Lisa's asking my next hike. I don't know yet. I haven't decided. Bernadette goes by. I don't know, Leonore. I do not. I am not sure. Because I just been doing the ones around here just to get my endurance back. But I may do stairs tomorrow. Just to get some leg work. I may do stairs. I haven't. There's two types of stairs. There's the ones that I normally do, and then there's like a little easier. I'll probably do the tougher stairs. D Nice goes, we need to hike together. Meyer freaking killed it on the trail. That would be cool. All right, guys. Like Bernadette said, because I am losing my voice for some odd reason. I have no idea. But thank you for joining me. I am going to end the stream. You guys are awesome. I will see you on the next one, which will be Thursday. Same bat channel, same time at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Be there or be squared and stay spooky and sweet nightmares, guys. Good night, guys. You guys are awesome. Enjoy the rest of your evening.